Originally started looking for a new smoker about 3 years ago, and kind of looking around online and started seeing Pitmaker pop up and started looking at it and started saving for an investment I knew I was going to be making for the long term. And every time I kept looking at another company, I would end up coming back to Pitmaker. And everything I found, just looking at everything online, just the innovativeness and the quality of work they do just kept me coming back. And finally had enough where I ordered up, called down to Pete. Great, ordered everything over the phone, took me about 5 minutes, told them exactly what I wanted. Process was great. Called a couple times, they told me exactly where it was in production and when to expect it. Now we're down here picking it up and seeing it first time in person. It completely blows me out of the water. This thing is more than I ever could imagined, and I can't wait to cook on it. Yeah, we've done some smaller cook-offs and some small catering, but I've been cooking on a small backyard smoker that just so inefficient and cooking for a large number of people. I was having to do it in batches over days. And we actually have our first real big cook coming up. We're doing brisket and pork tenderloin for about 200 people mid-June, and this is going to make my life so much easier by being able to cook everything at once and getting it out fresh as opposed to cooking it over days and reheating it. Yeah, I first ran into them. I was in San Antonio the same weekend of the San Antonio cook-off, the rodeo cook-off last year, and first time actually seeing one of these in person. And I showed up right at the brisket turn-in, so they were kind of busy getting all their brisket ready to turn in. But one of the other guys of the team brought me in, super nice. You know, showed me around, showed me the pits, and I was amazed by one. I saw the vault, and they had the vault sitting, I guess, at the end. They just had it up at about 300, and seeing the amount of coals in the basket to keep this thing at 300 was just absolutely unreal. It just the small amount of coals for that amount of heat, which I can't even get my smoker to right now. So, but they were great guys. Actually got to taste a piece of their turn-in brisket, which was one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. I wish it was more than just one bite, but seeing these things in person as opposed to just online, you're even more amazed whenever you actually see it in person, and just the quality and craftsmanship of it. It's unreal. They'll definitely see me around. I got a wife and some small kids at home, a 5-month-old, so getting the cook-offs right now is a little rough, but they'll definitely expect to see me on some of the bigger cook-offs, I think, in the future. Well, we have a 3.5-hour drive home, but once we get home, I already bought some ribs sitting in the fridge, so we may not be sleeping tonight once we get home and get those ribs in there after the first initial burn on it.